As Adelaide play host to the Sydney Kings at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. The Kings have dropped to 10-10, and this is a grudge match. DJ Vasiljevic, he apparently hates the Sydney Kings. That total is massive, but I think they'll go north of it because this will be an absolute track meet. In terms of a Sportsbet same-game multi, we'll take the Kings to win, Jalen Adams to dish out the assists, Tui on the glass, and DJ to get them up. Enjoy the game, the Kings and the Sixers.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
The clouds of doom have disappeared here in Adelaide and blue skies prevail with a silver lining for new coach Scotty Ninnis and his team. Last week they upset the ladder leaders Melbourne United. Tonight the reigning champs Sydney are in the house in front of a fourth sellout crowd who are ready to get loud.
The biggest crowd at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, 9,564 fans. Might be witnessing the boil over of the season.
You're going to love it. The energy in the place, they're just going crazy.
And the crowd get to their feet. They appreciate what they're seeing. Cal, he shot the ball well from outside. This will be the biggest of them all. The biggest of them all from Trey Cal. They get the win against the ladder leaders, Melbourne United by 5 points. What a performance.
The Brisbane Bullets, after 2 straight losses this season already to Sydney, hit them hard on their home floor today, 101-93.
The Kings were never really a threat to win this game.
If we don't put forth the effort, we're not going to be successful. At the end of the day, I can sit here and talk about it, saying the same things over and over. Some things just got to change.
Our big hello and welcome as Hungry Jacks NBL continues round 15 as the Sydney Kings roll into the Adelaide Entertainment Centre to take on a 36ers side that have got a little bit of momentum while all the pressure is on the Kings. They have lost 7 of their last 10 games. Looking forward to this to be another packed house as I welcome in Ryan Brockhoff, Pete Hawley. Amazing all the heat on the Sydney Kings. They're still sitting on fourth, and the Adelaide 36ers are playing better than a 6-13 team.
Yeah, no doubt, Joe. I'm excited for this one because if Sydney can turn it around where they're sitting, they can have a big end to finish this season, but there's some heat on them. And this man used to suit up for the purple and gold, so he'll be feeling really good about this one, no doubt.
Well, there's a lot of talk for a number of reasons about this game, Rowdy, but one in particular is DJ against his former side where he won 2 titles.
It is, and he's trying to play it down throughout the week, and media's trying to play it down both sides, but this is a grudge match. This is a game that he has marked on his calendar. No matter what he says, he's going to take confidence. He's not one that lacks confidence anyway, but especially after his performance against MU, putting up 30 points against what's considered the best backcourt defensive duo in the league, he's going to come in full of confidence, looking to make a statement early and putting it to Sydney.
And his numbers have improved under Scotty Ninnis, his points, percentage and assists, but you want to take a look at his numbers compared to his time at the Kings.
Yeah, look, he's had a big jump up in points, and that's not a small jump. It's only 5 points we see, but to average almost 20 points a game in the NBL is not an easy task. He is the #1 focal point on their offense. He's hyper-aggressive. We saw 15 points in the first quarter against MU, and they're going to look for him to get going early.
Well, Pete, DJ's tried to play down this rivalry game. The Sydney Kings are trying to play down the heat on the Sydney Kings coach, but 7 of their last 10 they've lost. There is certainly pressure.
Yeah, there is. I mean, the heat's coming from everyone, isn't it? The media, the fans, I'm sure, within the locker room, and that's what happens when you lose. Losing isn't fun, and they've got plenty of time to figure it out because the talent's there. That's the positive, right? The talent's there, but it's all on the defensive end. They score the most points in the league at 94, but they give up the most, and those numbers are staggering. Anytime they allow a team to score over 90, things don't work out too well for them.
A lot of talk about their defence, Pete. So talk us through where is it going wrong for the Sydney Kings?
Well, I think the easy one is the miscommunication. Nobody's really on the same page. They've tried to switch a lot. They've tried to zone, but they really just switch out of convenience. So there's 2 players to the ball here. Another one here. This is early on in the first quarter against Melbourne United. 2 to the ball. Right now, Denzel Valentine, yes, you're guarding Chris Golding, but if you've got time to point, you've got time to close out and trust that someone else is going to have your back and find Chris Golding. And this one here against the Bullets. Switching just for convenience. There's no real screen there. Sean Bruce was on Nathan So he didn't have to switch, but they go, okay, we're just going to switch anyway. Another one here. There's no real screen there, but they're just saying, look, we're close enough, let's just switch. And then what happens if you just switch for convenience? This. 2 players on the ball, and you can leave up a wide open Josh Bannon for an easy dunk. So this happens way too often, and it's just a breakdown after breakdown after breakdown. If they want to, they can be a really good defensive team. I believe it, because they've got Jalen Galloway. When DJ Hogue comes back, Alex Tui, the pieces are there. They just got to show up.
Well, we'll get you two boys to keep an eye on that throughout the game. Well, there is a man celebrating a very special milestone tonight that we will recognise at halftime. We bring him in courtside. Welcome, John Casey.
Thanks very much, Joey. Good evening, everyone. Look, I might be in the minority here. I don't think the Sydney Kings are going that bad. Let's not forget that they lost their coach and their 5 top scorers from last season. They're one of only 2 teams that's been in the top 4 the entire season, and I still think they've got the lineup that can go through to the semi-finals. I'm really glad to see that they brought Tui and Valentine back into the starting 5 because I think this is their best lineup. But they're certainly going to get a good battle tonight against Adelaide. I was at training during the week. They're full of vim. They're full of vigour. They're excited. Big win over Melbourne on Saturday. They're going with the same 5, which is no surprise. I think they can get the upset. Sydney, though, are certainly not going as bad as people think at the moment. Should be a great game, fellas.
Thank you, Case. Absolutely looking forward to this one. And we expect maybe a bit of a shootout. We know both teams struggling defensively. When they last met in round 2, it was a Sydney Kings win 109-100, Pete. So, it's like that.
Over under the ball in Vasuvic's hands for longer than 5.5 seconds before that first shot goes up.
I'm sure the first play will probably run for him, just to get him going and to get the confidence and a little bit of a cheeky one at Sydney. But I guess we'll find out here. We'll see.
Well, he was the fire starter in that win against Melbourne United. 15 first quarter points. He got the crowd going. A record crowd at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Over 9,500. And here he is. He was always going to take the first shot and couldn't quite get it to fall.
There's no surprise Jalen Galloway's going to get that assignment. Sean Bruce gone back to the bench. So Galloway, their best perimeter defender, one of the elite perimeter defenders in the league, is going to have that to go against all night long. It's going to be fun to keep an eye on. And that's why we talk a bit about the switching. We've talked about their defense over and over. If you can switch as an elite defensive team and you can figure it out, you're switching everything, you can be really good. But what happens is, and we've seen it in the past, people tend to get lazy when you're switching because you know, okay, I don't have to worry about it. As soon as there's anyone close by, someone else's problem. If I'm Jalen Galloway, probably about 6 rounds ago, I mean, he was injured, but before that, saying, I just want to stay on the elite offensive weapon. I want that to be my task all night long.
Vasuvich, one of the best free throw shooters in the league, knocks down the first 2 as Adams, who's really been struggling from the 3-point line in recent weeks. Misses that, but Hunter cleans up.
Yeah, big by Hunter, just getting on the offensive boards, just creating extra possessions, using his size and strength down low, and he's been really improved this season. He's been really good and flying under the radar a little bit, if maybe most improved.
No, he's in that conversation for sure, Ray. And again, I think that flying under the radar comes from their slump, right? Because they're struggling and we're all looking at their defense, and they've given up 100 points 9 times to this point in the season, which is just absurd when you think about how good you have to be defensively to win a title and how good they were the last 2 seasons. But Geordie Hunter's been unbelievable.
Yep, averaging career highs, 10.8 points, 6.8 rebounds, averaging a double-double his last 4 games, 12 and 10.
Nice time to do it too, contract year.
And of course, you see they had the 22 points, 8 rebounds when these sides met in round 2. Makes one of the 2 free throws. You mentioned the Kings. Hawks, they've conceded 100 points 9 times. There's only one other side that's done it more than 6. Cairns Taipans have conceded 100 on 7 occasions. Just to give you some context on this talk about the Sydney defence.
And you highlighted the Sydney defence to begin with, Rules, but those first few possessions, there was very limited switching off the ball there. They're trying to fight through and stay with their man.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where they've got to be at right now, right? If you're Mark Mood, and if you haven't seen the press conference from last week, have a look at that, because there was some telling signs. But okay, we've now put our best starting 5 out there. You put Valentine back in there, you put Alex Tui, who I think is one of their best defenders as well. So basically the onus is going to be on the players. Okay, we're not going to switch. Switching's been a bit of a bailout. We're no good in the zone. Just play one-on-one, man-to-man defense. Show on screens, whatever you have to do, but just lock into your man and have a bit of pride about it and see how it goes.
Yeah, and that type of defense brings the energy. Sometimes when you got the switching, it's passive, you switch, you just kind of point and do what you need to do. But when you're trying to fight through screens, it brings some energy. You have to use that energy to get through, and now some full court pressure.
And you also do that, right? Because I like this already. Denzel Valentine's just not letting Trey Kell touch the ball. All these little things help spark something on the defensive end.
So Jacob Wiley sub out, picked up 2 fouls early in this one. He'll take a seat. Galloway will check into the game. So the 2 brothers playing against each other tonight. There's good defense from Tui. 36ers bench aren't happy. They thought it was a foul. Refs put the whistle away. Here goes Adams. And good defense from Galloway as we get down courtside at John Casey.
Thanks very much, guys. Yeah, look, the Adelaide 36ers are running with this throwback singlet that they wore last week to commemorate the 1999 championship win. They won against Melbourne. They figured it was a good luck charm, but the feedback has been so strong from the fans here in South Australia that they want it brought back permanently as Galloway quietens the fans here at the moment. Kings have scored the last 6 after Adelaide opened the scoring. But there is a move now that Adelaide are going to revert back to this singlet. It's the South Australian colours. The logo is more popular with the fans than the current new one that they have. So the owner, Grant Kelly, spoke pre-game about it and wouldn't guarantee it's coming back, but certainly they are moving in that direction.
What would be your preference, Case?
Look, I don't think it matters that much, but if the fans want it, you've got to give the fans what they want. If they want it, bring it back.
100%.
I want it back. That's what I grew up supporting as an Adelaide boy. And then Denzel Valentine.
Little flight up.
Right now, they're just giving it to Adelaide on the defensive end. There was a couple of times they put heat on the rim, got to the free throw line. Galloway knocked down a 3, and then they're just getting into the heart.
Well, our fast starters, the Sydney Kings, they've led 14 of 20 in those first quarters. #1 scoring team in quarter 1 throughout the year, averaging 25 points a game. Here's Tui again looking to be aggressive. Couldn't quite finish.
Both sides have just been able to get into the paint at will to start the game. Obviously, two teams who have highlighted defensively have struggled. As a lot of contact there on DJ's. He drives the rim, but both teams are able to get into the paint, get fouls, get off offensive rebounds. Both teams need to make focus, keep it out of the paint.
As the refs have put away the whistle at the moment.
Oh, let him play.
That might be the 3rd or 4th time they feel hard done by the 36ers, as Galloway is going to be called for an offensive foul.
We called it a track meet to begin with, and those last 2 minutes, as we go to the Hungry Jacks replay, it's not...
There's nothing in that. That's pretty good. And then DJ Vasiljevic sliding his feet, getting position, taking that from Galloway. Something's got to give in this game, right? Because Adelaide are the worst in the league scoring-wise and just 86 per game, whereas Sydney's lead the league in scoring at 94. But on the flip side, Sydney give up the most of 94. So one of those two trends is going to be broken in this game.
Oh, Vasiljevic puts on the moves. And this time he does draw the foul.
That's twice now he's been able to break the defense down, get a one-on-one. The help side's not really coming early enough, and he was smart. He used the little screen set by Humphries under the paint where he sealed his man to be able to get to the rim and draw the foul.
Well, the possession before when he pulled up for the deep 3, I know it was deep, but again, it was more of that switching for convenience because they went underneath it. Just trying to fight over it. Just trying to really send a message here.
And when you've been doing it all season, it just becomes a habit. It's just a habit that's kind of hard to break, but you've seen little spurts of it here to begin with where there's a concentration for them to get through screens, stay with their man and play with a bit more energy.
All 4 36ers points have come through Vasiljevic at the free throw line. Crowd getting into it. They love the game against Melbourne United. They want to see that same energy from their 36ers. Shot clock down to 4. Again, Tui is going to get into the paint. Again, good defense. And Kyron Galloway gets the rebound.
Great defense. Just make your defender score over you. Force him into the paint. You're able to wall up, make him shoot over. Don't bail him out with a foul. Don't jump on any fakes as Trey Cal gets all the way to the rim. Getting him on skates, DJ Valentine out there.
Trey Cal, he's been in good form as well, hasn't he? Ever since the triple-double, Illawarra just stopped on a dime a little bit. Sent Denzel Valentine the wrong way, and then gets the blocking foul, gets to go to the line for 2.
That's a good record, Trey Cal against Sydney Kings. He had 28 points in round 2.
Ready? 12.
Coming off
2 shot.
knocking down 5 triples against Melbourne United. First time in his NBL career he's able to do that.
Big ones too, big timely threes, and it looked like Melbourne United were going to start to build some momentum.
And then the dagger right at the end of the game to seal it. He's been in fine form and doing it as the primary facilitator as well. He's gone into that point guard type of role where he's starting the offense, getting others involved and finding his own shot too.
Yeah, I'm not sure he signed up at Adelaide to hit the starting point guard, but he's shown that he can more capable to do it, and that's a really good pass from Jalen Adams. Just put it anywhere Hunter will finish.
especially on a switch. Adelaide's been known as well to just use switching as a defense, and then when you get a big foul like that under the rim, just throw it up and let him go get it, as DJ gets wide open off simple pick and roll. And
that's twice now they're going under Vasiljevic, whether they're expecting to switch, but you're dodging a couple of bullets there. The last thing you want to do is let him get his eye in.
Humphries gets the rejection. And then Cal again thought he was fouled. Refs are going to confer as we take a look at Humphries.
We talk about how teams can take advantage of the drops defense. Well, that's how you play it. Just keep backing up. When your opposition player starts to get closer to you, then you make a decision. That was perfect from Isaac Humphries.
It's going to be a Kings ball. 3 turnovers for the Adelaide 36ers, just 1 so far for the Sydney Kings, who lead the league in turnovers. Again, a good find from Jalen Adams to Glover, getting some minutes early. We'll get our first snooze timeout. Scott Ninnis wants to chat things over.
They get to hit a field goal. Adelaide 36 is 0 of 6. All 5 points have come at the free throw line.
Well, spoke a lot about pre-game, this matchup between DJ Vasiljevic and his former side. We caught up with him pre-game.
Do you think Sydney will come at you to try and put you off your game a little bit?
I wouldn't be surprised. They got Sean Bruce, they got Angus Glover. They might throw Jalen Adams at me at times. So yeah, I really don't know what their game plan is. But you know, Sean Bruce is there. He's a little pesky guy. You know, he was voted the biggest trash talker in the league last year. So I wouldn't surprise if he starts on me tonight.
Can you match him in trash talking?
No, I just played a game of basketball, but again, don't poke the bear, or you know, things can go sideways. So I just want to enjoy the play of the game. It's another sellout here at the Entertainment Centre, and we're going to go after get another win.
There is Sean Bruce.
Oh, if he was in the starting lineup, there's no doubt. But again, I think that's something that would be just keeping a little ace up his sleeve, because DJ started slow. You don't want to poke the bear now. You don't want to throw him out there and just say a couple of things. There's still plenty of game time left, but no doubt Sean Bruce will see a lot of time on him.
The agitator. He loves getting in and mixing it up and then talking a bit of trash, and really good at drawing offensive fouls out of that.
Again, on that, and we talk a bit about Sydney struggles, right? You look through their roster, and Sean Bruce, outside of, we know that, yes, he will talk trash, but he's also a vocal leader for them, and he's proven to be that ultimate trust guy for the Kings, even in their championship days. The rest of the roster, Jalen Adams is notoriously quiet on the floor, likes to lead by example when things are going well. DJ Hogue is quieter in his personality, Denzel Valentine, Jordan Hunter, so they are a bit more reserved, I guess, than seasons past, without those guys like DJ Vasiljevic to be really open and vocal.
And this has been a big improvement in the 36ers when they go down to Humphries. It's been a big last 5 or 6 games.
It's the first time we've seen it. Go into the post, get himself something easy at the rim, and use his size advantage to get a nice easy look, as Glover with a nice fake. Unable to finish the 3, but it's just a simple play just to get them an easy field goal. We spoke about they hadn't got a field goal up or made a field goal yet to start the game. So go to your big fella who's in form, getting one close to the basket.
He's been averaging almost 20 points a game under Scott Ninnis as Trey Kell continues his fine form.
We've gone under another ball screen, and yes, we've managed to work it in the first 5 minutes because Vasiljevic has missed a couple. Trey Kell's shooting pretty well, Blade, too. That's going to be an offensive foul. And again, when you don't go under screens, you try and fight over, that's what happens. Here's the Harvey Norman replay. So right here, Angus Glover decides to go underneath rather than fighting over. So Trey Kell's like, no problem. I'll step back. Shot it well here last week. Started well in this one. And then down the other end, Vasiljevic draws that offensive foul because he does the opposite. Says, you know what, I'm going to try and fight over this screen.
Humphries almost coughed it up. Instead, it'll work out. It's Galloway. Scores for the 36ers. They've scored 7 unanswered since the timeout.
Just a bit of luck. Just ball bubbled, right place, right time. But the Galloway brothers, we'd like to see them go head-to-head. 2 of the most athletic players in the league.
Here's Jonah Bolden. He's just been slightly off the ball the last 5 or 6 games after going through a real patch for the middle of the year.
Well, it's not... Did Galloway just throw a lob to his brother on the opposite team? That's what that
They're in the backyard again, I think.
He just threw that to Jalen.
There's the old adage as a coach, don't throw it to your big man in transition.
Do you think that he thought that might be a little NBL one offset? Have a look at this, just throw it up there, and Jalen's like, oh, I've been on the end of these a couple of times in the NBL one.
Kyron Galloway, a pretty good matchup last time these two sides played, the 7 points, 5 rebounds.
They're just fixing the shot clock now. You see that, 17.
They go to Galloway. He likes the match up on Adams, so Bolden has to come and support. Good defence.
Great choice from Jonah Bolden.
And now the Kings are out and running. Noy. He's gone back to his customary role off the bench. Gets his first points.
Always aggressive, always providing impact with his scoring, and had a really good year. 6th man of the year. One of the front runners I see. But his impact and how consistent he's been as DJ gets open again. It's sort of that slight switch, a little hesitation, a little pause. And
it's working right now.
Dodging. But maybe that was the plan. They knew it was going to be cold tonight.
Missed his first 3 attempts from long range.
Feel like they're just flirting with danger a little bit, don't you?
Well, it only takes one with a shooter like DJ, and he lights up really quickly.
Here's Noy. He has been shooting the ball well from outside. Can't get that to fall. Just 1 of 6 from long range for the Sydney Kings. Been a real issue for them over the last 6 games, shooting under 30% from the 3-point line. Last in the league is a good feed to Starling. From Kadee.
Kadee played some really important minutes against NU, and bring him back into the lineup, bring some creativity.
Galloway.
Did he just palm it off the backboard? Talking about athletic plays, that's how you guard the rim, and Kadee. Sterling keeps it alive, but what a play.
We're seeing the athleticism of these Galloway boys as DJ gets that to fall.
There's the one.
I can't wait to see this block again.
I don't even remember what I was talking about. I was talking about something important, I felt like, but that is just one of those rare plays as Noy steps back and hits a 3, and he's always aggressive, always in the right position.
Never seen a shot he doesn't like.
No,
That's got to be your role when you come in off the bench and bring that energy, be that spark plug. He really thrives in it.
They're shooting at 38.5% from long range. Of the top 20 3-point shooters, he's 4th in the competition. As we take a look at this play from Adelaide, Kadee to Starling.
Simple pick and roll. Angus Glover trying to tell Bolden to get back in time, but throws it over to Alex Starling. And this from Galloway. Oh, he's just palmed on the back of the neck. Would have been nice if he palmed it against the ball. And there's Vasiljevic, as you said, Rowdy. There's the first one to see go through the net.
Galloway just has to be up there a little bit more. Know that Noy is looking to be ultra aggressive, and any space he's going to let it fly.
Cal knocks down both free throws.
Smart by Cal, just drawing the foul up near half court, getting himself to the free throw line. Sydney in the bonus.
Ticking down 1.5 minutes in this first quarter. Led by 7 early, the Sydney Kings. Been a good response by the 36ers, and Noy again being aggressive.
He knocked down the 3, just a possession before, which made Starling close out a bit reckless. But just put the ball on the floor and get an easy 2.
7 quick points for Noy coming off the bench. Leads all scorers. There's Cal feeling good from long range. Leaves that one short. Clever play from Mitch McCarron. Good to see McCarron and Kadee on the floor at the same time. There's, of course, a bit of noise about the 2 veterans when Scott Ninnis took over. Here is Kadee. Can't quite get that to fall. Starling will mop up.
You love Adelaide's energy, though. They're undersized. They've got a small lineup. They've been able to create extra shots for each other. Just haven't been able to find any fallers. Noy again, ultra aggressive.
We'll get a second look at it, the Kings.
We've got a chance for a 2-for-1 to end the quarter.
Here's Valentine.
He's got to lay that up. Yeah. He did everything he had to. The defense broke down. It's got to be a bit more aggressive.
Kyron Galloway. And now in transition, it'll be Valentine. Again, good defense. And Kyron Galloway had some good moments in this first quarter.
That's just the presence of Kyron Galloway, right? You know he's an elite athlete and rim protector. So you try and get him to leave his feet, but he was disciplined enough to stay down.
Who's going to have the lead at quarter time? Galloway doing it at both ends of the floor. And it'll be the Adelaide 36ers. They led at quarter time against Melbourne United, and they are leading at quarter time against the reigning champs. Full house, Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Good game on our hands. Quarter time, Adelaide Entertainment Centre. It's the 36ers holding a 1-point lead against the best first quarter team in the competition. They came out of the blocks well, the Kings. They led by 7 points early. A good response by Adelaide, continuing on their momentum after their win against Melbourne United last week. Low scoring, not as high scoring as we thought, but good start, Adelaide.
I mean, absolutely. I think Sydney got out of the blocks the way that all the fans and the team would have liked, and then you just thought that it was only a matter of time because Adelaide, they started off 6 from deep. You just thought, okay, they're still getting good looks. They're going to be able to score the ball eventually, and they did do that. Enough to be leading it after 10.
And Sydney are probably lucky that Adelaide has just missed a lot of open shots, open threes to begin the game. It's been a little scrappy, a little up and down, but Adelaide's been able to find open shots, just haven't been able to knock them down just yet.
Both teams struggling from the field. Adelaide shooting at just 30%, 1 of 9 from long range. The Kings not much better, 28% from beyond the arc. As we said earlier, been a real struggle for them in recent weeks. As that's a poor turnover. Just on different page, Hunter and Bolden.
And we haven't seen a whole lot of it. We haven't in the recent weeks, but this season alone with Bolden and Hunter playing together, they can do it because of Bolden's ability to hit the 3 ball, space the floor a little bit.
Detch into the game. Had some really valuable minutes against Melbourne United, particularly when he came on and played on Chris Golding, and now doing it on the offensive end. Scoring really drying up here for the Sydney Kings. Bolden continuing his struggles from long range.
They've had a couple of really nice tip rebounds where you just know you're out of position like that with Jason Kadee. Just tip it to one of your teammates.
In this lineup for Adelaide, Sydney should really be attacking them. There's no Humphreys, no Cal, no DJ. Where's the offense going to come from? So it's time for Sydney to put some possessions together defensively like they just did, force a contested tough shot, get out and run. Transitions where they're at their best. They've got to play a bit more up tempo, get some shots up, get some movement, find their offense.
And even that floater that Sunday Detch hit a couple of possessions ago, that was pretty well defended. Alex Tui was right there, contested overhand. He'll take that every day.
An interesting lineup for Scott Ninnis, all 5 of his starters on the bench, including Nick Marshall and Jacob Wiley.
Thought this rotation was supposed to be shortening.
Well, it seems like Adelaide have the thought to kind of slow down the game. Oh, is that twice he's gone down? He might have stood on his foot that time. I'm going to give him better for the doubt.
But I just want to get him some new kicks. Can we get some new kicks?
There's a couple of wet spots out there maybe, but yeah, it's been a bit of a rough start offensive for both teams, but Sydney especially.
Yeah, 2 of 9, and again, it's hard, right? Because there's been all the talk from, I'm sure, within the team and outside, no doubt about it, and that does sit in your mind subconsciously as you try and get this one. And again, you're playing against a team that, yes, they just beat Melbourne United, but again, it's still a free swing for them as well. So they get to go out there and play loose and play free.
And it seems like Adelaide, as I was trying to say before I got distracted on the slip, that they're trying to slow the game down, have long offensive possessions, keep Sydney out of transition, limit the possession game so they can stay a little bit closer, keep the pressure, build the pressure on Sydney with that scoreboard as DJ takes a tough shot. Someone may have got a piece of that one.
Well, that's exactly why you keep Jalen Galloway on him as much as you can. Try and switch as an absolute last resort because he's an elite defender.
Valentine going to try his luck again. Really struggling now. He's cold. Denzel Valentine. And Adelaide will make them pay in transition.
I think he slipped again. There actually might be something wrong with the shoes. That's the 3rd slip now for Valentine. And you mentioned slowing it down. They're going to punish him on the other end, defensive trans. So another miss. They're 2 of 11 from 3. And look at all the blue jerseys running. He had to just worry a little bit about Vasiljevic pulling up for 3.
He did have a little slip, but you just saw them run in wave. A long rebound. Sydney had crashed the boards hard. No one got back in D-trans, and that would get an easy layup.
Snooze timeout. Of course, basketball fans, don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see 3 key members of the Chicago Bulls, the champs of the 1990s, when the NBL partnered with TEG Live to bring Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and Luke Longley into Australia. The No Bull Tour, presented by Coca-Cola, is an interactive storytelling experience. How good would that be? In Hobart, Melbourne and Sydney in February, hosted by Shane Jacobson. It's an event not to be missed. Go into the Bulls' inner sanctum and hear some never-before-told stories. How good would that be? Of one of the greatest teams ever assembled Find out a bit more about Michael Jordan behind the scenes. Noble tickets start at just $79. They're available nbl.com.au/Noble.
Oh, Brett Maher, a great one.
He's going to check himself in, I think. He's seen enough. Get me in, coach.
Wonder how that 98-99 championship team pulled up after their celebrations last week. They enjoyed watching the win.
They started the week before, by the looks of it, as they should.
There's DJ Vasiljevic.
And you mentioned trying to slow down the game, Rowdy, from an Adelaide perspective. Sydney, remember the way they started the season, and they were getting out, right? They were trying to get more possessions than the opposition, and that's why they ran the score up as they've had another player fall down. Jalen Adams, you mentioned his struggles. The last 6 games, just 12.5% from 3. 3 of 24, which is not ideal for your leading superstar and MVP in Jalen Adams.
This is where they're at their best. Get out in transition. They've got great athletes. Is that one? Someone's grabbed the rim there. They've counted the basket, but DJ, and that's one of those possessions that hurts Adelaide. He's come down, forced up a quick shot, allowed Sydney to get the rebound, out in transition where they're at the best.
Yeah, the three-point shot has just deserted them. Spoke about Jalen Adams now, 3 of 26 in his last 7 games. Jonah Bolden, 5 of 20.
Oh, wow. Again, we do sound like a broken record talking about the switching, but the only switch that I'd really be okay with is if it's Tui and Galloway. If they're in something together, it's an easy switch, like for like, but let's have a look. It was a bit of a late call here. And, oh, boy. Didn't look like he did a whole lot wrong. Geordie Hunter, mate, Starling go behind the backboard.
His second personal, Geordie Hunter. Stays in the game. As they go to Wiley, who checks back into the game. After picking up those 2 early fouls in the first quarter. Real barometer for the Adelaide 36ers, Jacob Wiley. Let's get down courtside to John Casey.
Joe, that foul just called on Geordie Hunt. It was really interesting to see how the Kings approached that when they go to their own personal video review behind the coach. Coach Mahmood went to the video operator and said, what did you think? He said, well, he got him with the body a little bit. He showed him the play almost 10 seconds after it had happened, and he had to just scowl and think, yeah, it's probably there if they're going to call that. So I think the way that we operate now with this video review and the ability of the teams to see it straight away, he really cuts down on coaches getting frustrated because he saw it almost as it happened and was able to get a replay and then worked out that it wasn't worth challenging. It was a 50-50 call, but it's probably not going to be overturned.
Well, that is exactly what you have to weigh up now, right? Because there wasn't enough contact where, yeah, it's probably not going to be overturned. That's why you should also, unless it's your star player who's picking up a 3rd foul in this current situation in the 2nd quarter, save it for the 4th quarter.
Exactly.
There's always going to be those moments. We've seen it recently where you wish you had a challenge late when there's just a mistake made.
Yeah, especially 6 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter with close game. But I want to highlight the offensive rebounds. Adelaide's been getting after him, 6 already. Find themselves extra possessions. That's just effort and intensity. That is counted.
That's a bit of Galloway crime there.
Oh no, they're going to talk about that one at home. But Adelaide's playing with a little bit more intensity, crashing the offensive boards, trying to get themselves some easy baskets to keep the scoreboard ticking over as they're playing at a slower pace.
Look at that, the rebounds. 23 to Adelaide, 16 to Sydney, 6 O-boards for the 36ers. That's the energy-building plays.
Well, that is what Jalen Galloway spoke about during the week. Sydney Kings, he said, we don't want to give up second chance points. We want to win the rebound count and limit our turnovers. Not quite getting it done at the moment. Sydney still just trying to find their form. Lost 4 of their last 5. Humphreys uses his size on Bolden.
You saw off the top, though, they have got a very good record when holding teams under 90. They're on track to do it here. It is still very early.
Jalen Galloway from long range. The woes continue for both teams. Combined 3 of 26 from long range, these two sides. Detch might change that. He does.
And that's all set up by Cal, being able to get into the paint, draw the help side defense, find Detch for an easy open 3. There's been a lot of contested 3s. There's been some easy uncontested ones, but that's a one-pass offense. That's a one-pass shot. No ball movement, semi-contested, not in rhythm. Oh,
I thought you said no ball.
And get to no ball, get some tickets.
We're talking about the Harvey Norman replay right here, Rowdy. It was just a real patient move from Trey Kell. He said, okay, I've got Jalen Adams on my back. I'm just going to slow down right here, survey the floor. He said, if I get past Adams, someone's going to help, which means if there's no rotation, someone's going to be wide open for a three. And that was Sunday Detch in the corner where he likes to shoot the three ball.
And those are the ones you practice a lot, that dribble drive, kick to the open man. Those are the ones that are in rhythm, and you tend to make it. As Detch has had a good start to tonight's game.
Here's Galloway backing on Glover. And Sydney gets something going on offense. Just all at sea at the moment.
Well, they're 2 of 15 from outside, and then a transition bucket to Trey Kell. Catches a flat tire. Timeout here, Sydney Kings.
He's blaming the shoe too.
Yeah, they are under the pump here, the Sydney Kings. They are really struggling at both ends of the floor at the moment.
It was another quick shot. Trey Kell leaked out. Got the easy two. You don't mind that. That's what Kuwait Noi does. We know he's going to hunt out the three ball, but back-to-back quick shots, if they're all missing, it's a different story.
Just 4 points in this quarter for the Sydney Kings. They are really struggling. One player that's just struggling at the moment, Jonah Bolden. He's done from 4 from the field, but he's had a pretty good season. We caught up pre-game with him to talk about how he's found his first season back.
Must be happy with what you've been able to achieve in a season after taking some time off.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm definitely happy. I'm, happy every game to be out here and play. Grateful. Nearing where I wanted to see myself at this part of the season. But yeah, still, for myself personally, a lot more to do.
And your achievements, is it reinvigorated your love for the game?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Just being back and playing gave me a different perspective on the game. A different love, appreciation, and gratefulness to be able to do it as a living and as a job.
He's been really good this season, Jonah Bolden. When you take that long away from the game, it's always going to be that rust that doesn't just take a couple of weeks when you come back from an injury. It takes a lot to get back in the swing of things and understand what it takes to compete for an entire season. Been really impressed with it.
Well, let's get down courtside. John Casey, you're taking a listen into the Kings huddle.
Yeah, Coach Mahmoud Abdul Fattah is starting to lose patience with his players at the moment. The timeout that he called previously in this quarter, he spoke to them about getting pressure on the rim, as we just saw there. But the first timeout, they came out of that and they've been spraying up threes again. So again, he pulled them into the huddle and said, we need to put pressure on the rim. I don't want us shooting that many outside shots. He wants to see everything going inside first and let things happen from there.
Another offensive rebound on that. Help side's come across the block. Someone's got to get Humphries, keep him off the board, but it's a great point. As the two teams shooting 4 of 29 combined, get on the rim. Sometimes just seeing one go through the paint, that's a great defensive block and play. Sometimes seeing one go into the rim, getting into the paint, helps open up and build the confidence to shoot from outside, but Adelaide have done a good job in the last couple of possessions of contesting at the rim and
good rotation there. Here we go in the break, and they're finally going to get one on the board. Just their 6th point, and that's enough for Scott News to say 6 is too many in a quarter.
Well, they were shooting as many three-pointers as they were two-pointers up until that point. And they finally get some points in transition. Can that just give them a little bit of confidence? Shooting just on 30% from the field. Well, we spoke about the No Ball Tour. There's another beauty coming up too. Don't miss your chance to be part of the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters Tour as they take to the court with moments of extreme basketball, innovation and unparalleled fan fun. This is one for the kids. Coming down under to a city near you. So make sure you grab your tickets, www.hg2024.nbl.com.au.
Look, Shencher.
We spoke about Sydney Kings. There's been a lot of focus, Pete. You've done a lot of work on the Sydney Kings defence, but just going back to their offence. So since round 10, 7th in the league for scoring and 8th in the league for three-point shooting on 31%. So their defence is an issue, but offensively it's not as potent as it was at the start of the season.
Yeah, and again, I think a lot of that comes because we've now seen the deficiencies on the other end, right? So all the talk is, I'm sure, practices, everything's right. We've got to fix the defensive side of things. We've got to make sure that we're locked in every possession. Who's taking possessions off? We're watching film. We're really worried about the defense, that everyone else becomes a little bit less focused on offense and they're rid out of sorts. And we saw there, and as Case pointed out after the timeout, they had 3 possessions in a row where they weren't just taking threes. There were 1 or 2 pass threes in their possession. They were missing those, and then Adelaide got out on the break. So it's not just the fact that they're taking the 3 ball and just 2 of 15 tonight. It was the timing of it, not getting side to side, not punishing Adelaide at all.
Cal, he's got the 8 points. He's one that's shooting the ball at a pretty good clip. On that occasion, Glover pulls down another rebound.
I love that defense. Angus Glover might have got away with one, just a little bit physical on the initial back down, but until the referee calls it, just set a tone. So I'm going to be a little bit more physical here.
And this is when Adams is at his best. He still can't get that to fall.
Tough start for Jalen Adams. 0 of 7. He's got the 3 assists. 0 of 2 from outside. We mentioned just 12.5% from 3 in his last 6 games. But both him and Vasiljevic combined 1 of 14 in his first half.
Ninnis turns back to his starters. The bench have done a great job in this second quarter. It's going to be an arms foul. Marshall, and they're in the bonus too.
That hurts because, as we just mentioned, he's yet to hit a field goal. Now he gets to go to the free throw line.
JM goes left to right?
I'm not asking about that.
Okay, what did you tell me?
The post up. I feel like every time I go, he's right to my lower back every time.
Ah, fair point. Okay.
Nico, he's great.
Good explanation from Trey Cal, just saying Glover's just got the hands in the back when he's in the post.
Says we'll keep an eye on it. That's the way, and again, from a player's point of view, that's how you want to do it if you trade Cal. If you feel like you're getting hard done by, just go over and say, excuse me, I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a shove down the other end.
Yeah, definitely the right way. Just approach calmly, ask a simple question.
And then what happens the second time, Rowdy, when you don't get the call?
Yeah. Early shower.
6 points the margin. Adelaide led by 1 at quarter time. Both teams struggling from the field. That sums it up right there. Corin Galloway, an air ball.
6 seconds on the shot clock now.
Combined 4 of 30 now from 3-point line, both teams. Not the prettiest spectacle. Here's Cal. He's going to let it fly. He's been in good form. He is the one that is shooting it well. We just mentioned that. And they now lead by 9 points.
I was expecting a little bit more from Sydney. No shot clock was rolling down. A little bit more pressure.
So we keep talking about switching, right, Rowdy?
Yeah.
Under 10 seconds, it's pretty much a given across the season. If there's a ball screen or any sort of action under 10 seconds, you're going to be ready to switch it. And Glover did his best to try and stay with it.
But that's that confusion. They're not sure if they're in the switching or if they're trying to fight over late shot clock. It's sort of falling back into those habits as Adams is able to get into the paint again, but just hasn't started off. It hasn't been his night so far, but he's a player that can turn things on quickly.
Gives up the look. Finds the shooter in Bruce. He can get it to fall.
See exactly where headspace is Jalen Adams right now, right? He knew he was 0 of 8. And the defender went down. That's going to be plenty of trouble.
He did it pretty well, the big fella. Humphries, and now Marshall's going to try his luck.
The effort again, just getting after those boards, finding themselves some extra shots. DJ fouled at 1. That'll get you going.
The crowd get on their feet.
Another offensive rebound, though. That's what it was. It's the effort plays. 8 O boards in this first half, and what happens? Shooters love an offensive rebound because their feet are set, and DJ was trying to draw the foul on the floor, which it looked like Sean Bruce. There might have been 2 different movements there. I think that's what Sean Bruce is saying. He said, look, I definitely grabbed him, but I grabbed him before he started his shot. It's not going to matter, though, because there's a 4-point play, and all of a sudden, we've got a 13-point ball game. I think they were a bit unlucky there on that one, though.
But still, harped on it. Energy, effort plays, rebounding comes down to want and desire, and boxing out. There's a great defense possession, but I'm not sure if that's what Sydney want.
Well, I know it's heat on the rim, but again, it's a quick shot, isn't it? They haven't got anything side to side, and This is no knock on Adelaide, but they're not they haven't shown they're one of the strongest defensive teams in the league, right? But they're not even trying to make them play D. They're just coming down, a couple of passes, either shoot a three or someone put their head down. A couple of times to start the game, they got side to side, they set a ball screen, then they got some rotations. They got all the way down for easy layups and wide open shots.
That's it. And Hunter's had a really great season, but that's not his strong point. A one-on-one from the top, trying to make a move. He's more coming out of the pick and roll quickly, getting on the rim, and playing that two-man game as Brucey tries to provide a little bit of energy, get on the offense. Here we go, Rowdy. This is what he's talking about. Okay, mismatch, Jalen Adams, but watch the 4 white jerseys. They're all standing still. So Jalen Adams is essentially playing 1-on-5 right now. I know he has to settle for a step back, but no one moved. Everyone had their feet stuck in mud and said, okay, make a play. And the smallest man for Sydney was the one who wanted to get after the offensive rebound.
There's got to be some sort of screen away. Somebody's got to cut. You've got to occupy the defenders so that Jalen Adams doesn't just see a wall of blue. Jalen Adams sees a lot of movement, and hopefully he can try and get past Isaac Humphries then.
It's been a 20-8 quarter in favour of the 36ers. This will be Sydney Kings' lowest any quarter for the season, their lowest score.
GJ will probably hit a step back.
Can Adelaide really put the foot down? They can again. The Kings, they are all at sea on both ends of the floor. They are staring at 15-point deficit.
And just leaving players on an island just to try and guard one-on-one. There's no players as they get a bit of ball movement and open shot, but just there's no help. There's no one in the stance. There's no one hedging off the ball. It's just every man for himself at the moment.
Their actual half-court defense hasn't been atrocious in this first half, to be perfectly honest. They've just given up extra opportunities and those transition baskets, and then again down the other end is what's really hurting them now, because they're giving up O-boards on one end. Adelaide's making them pay, and they can't get things ticking over offensively.
Just 8 points in that quarter for the Sydney Kings, the reigning champs. They are up against it, and a man who's enjoying what he's seeing, John Casey, has an Adelaide play with him down courtside.
Thanks, Joe. I'm here with Sunday Ditch. That's a terrific first half, Sunday. Look, big buy-in from everyone. Your second quarter, 9 points in that quarter. It was noticeable at training at shoot-around on Wednesday. You were the last man to leave. It was like you circled this game and wanted to produce.
Yeah, look, I think for us it's just momentum. You know, we want to get a win. We've done a great job this first half. We've held them to 27 points, and we want to do that again the second half.
Can you tell us bigger picture how it's been for you? You know, your minutes have been cut a little bit, not playing as much as you were earlier in the season. It must be tough.
Yeah, look, I think it's professional sports, so you got to do what's best for the team, and you know we want to string some wins together, and it's going well for us at the moment.
And what's going to be key in the second half?
Just our defense, you know, sticking to the game plan and keeping it moving.
Appreciate your time. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
A massive 15-point lead at half-time. Can the Adelaide 36ers finish the job? Can the Sydney Kings find a way to get their season back on track? We'll dissect the first half right after this.
championship winner with the Magic, a championship winner now with Adelaide. Scotty Ninnis draws the curtain down on a memorable victory here, and the Adelaide 36ers are the 1998 Mitsubishi Challenge champions. Adelaide have won, and only the 4th team in 21 years for back-to-back championship. Congratulations to the 36ers. Townsville need a prayer to force overtime. They go to the clutch man, Robert Rose. Reaching in, Charles Thomas has stopped him, and Wollongong have prevailed. The first team from New South Wales to climb to the top of the NBL mountain, and Wollongong have prevailed in a half-stop, coming from 8 points down in the final period to win it by 3. USA rush up the floor, they come up empty. Here it is, folks. This is Australian basketball history. For the first time ever, Australia brings down the #1 team in the world, the USA, and they've done it by 4 points. It's 98-94 Australia. I see it, but I don't believe it.
Yes, he is a basketball icon in this country. He's a commentary legend, and he's been the voice of the NBL for over 35 years. John Casey calling his 1000th game tonight. I mean, anyone that has grown up watching the NBL like we all have, John Casey has been in our living rooms as we've grown up watching basketball. He's been a wonderful servant of this game and the commentary team. And John Casey, on behalf of everyone in the basketball community, we want to congratulate you. Well done. What an achievement. You must be very proud.
Thanks very much, Joey. Yeah, look, it's a little bit overwhelming, to be honest with you. An opportunity to do that many games is a real privilege, and I just want to say thank you to the players, the coaches, the officials, the fans who have been providing a lot of good vibes coming my way on social media today. Most importantly, I think I wanted to say thank you to my family. I've got my beautiful wife Kylie here with me tonight, my son Rafferty, my mum and my sister as well, and being able to share this with them is important to me because at one stage there I was doing 200,000 kilometres a year via an aircraft and didn't have a lot of weekends at home, and a lot of the hard work fell to my wife and my family. They've made a lot of sacrifices along the way, so I certainly thank them and appreciate everything they've done for me. But I also certainly appreciate everything that my fellow commentators and our staff behind the scenes at the NBL have done as well. It's been a fantastic ride. I've really enjoyed it. It's been quite a journey, 5 decades, and we've come a long way from the Apollo Stadium here in Adelaide in the mid-1980s.
Well, we've all been very lucky, Case. What about over those 37 years, I think it is? I know you've probably got a million, but just give us one memorable moment that sticks out in your mind.
Well, look, just watching back that win by the Boomers over the USA in front of more than 52,000 fans in 2019, it gave me chills again. You know, the hair standing up on the back of my neck, because that's something I'll never forget. Calling the Boomers winning the bronze medal in Tokyo, the women's gold medal in 06 was exciting as well. But just to be so close to these players, when I started at the Apollo Stadium, there was no room for me on the court side. I basically sat on the bench with the players, next to Scott Ninnis, not next to Mike Mackay. And they had me in a headlock and were punching me every time they scored and got excited. It was like I was part of the game.
Mate, you've had an incredible journey, but something has come across our desk, and we're lucky enough to be taken care of by Men's Club and looking great, but have a look at this. Can you please explain what's going on here on Big Wednesday 1996?
How about that? That was a look, wasn't it? We dubbed it Big Wednesday. You know, it was the first in-season tournament, I think, that was conducted here in Australia, and they decided that we needed to get funky with it. And I don't know if that's funky or just bad. It's certainly loud, and I think Steve Carfino carried it off a little better than me and Andrew Gaze.
Well, here's to another 1,000, Case. You're doing a remarkable job. And for those that want to learn more about your remarkable journey, you can jump onto the NBL website, because you sat down with Dan Woods, did a wonderful piece, so you can take a look at that. But congratulations, Case. This is your night as well, and hopefully your 36ers can get the job done in the second half, because they currently lead by 15 points. Pete Hooley, Ryan Brockhoff will take a look at the highlights and try and work out how the Kings can get back into this contest right after this. Adelaide 36ers, they're in a commanding position at half-time, and it's off the back, surprisingly, of a man named Sunday Dench, who enjoys playing against the Sydney Kings this season. His season-high 15 points came last time they met in round 2, and he has 9 points at half-time on 4 of 6 shooting. Ryan Brockhoff, Pete Hawley. Can you believe the reigning champs, the Sydney Kings, have scored 27 points and a half against a team sitting on the bottom of the ladder?
Oh, no, I can't, to be honest, but this man's been terrific. Blackmore shot chart there. Just 7 minutes of action. 4 of 6 from the field. That's what he likes to do, come in and make an impact. But yeah, I'm a little stunned still. I know they're in a bit of trouble right now. This man used to play for them, DJ Vasiljevic. Took him a while to get going. He was 0 of 6 to start. Now he's 3 of 9. 12 points, had a big 4-point play, made some things happen out on the break. 12 points, 4 rebounds, and this is probably the one game when if he had a donut, yeah, it would frustrate him, but he wants to win this game, and they're on track to do it.
He's not going to die wondering tonight either. He's going to get his shots up, he's going to look to be aggressive, and he started to find a little rhythm towards the second part of that second quarter, and he's dangerous. Once he gets going, he's hard to stop.
Yeah, 27 points, when they go back and look at the film, the amount of isolation ball in that first half from Sydney, and that last play we highlighted, Jalen Adams just trying to go 1-on-5 basically because nobody else was moving off the ball. They were very stagnant, and when they weren't stagnant, it was 1 pass, 1 shot. But it's got to be led from these two. Spencer Valentine, Jalen Adams, they're the 2 leading imports. 2 of 15 in that first half. It's from the floor.
It just seems to be some confusion and just even cutting as Valentine makes the tough pull-up too, but just don't seem to be cutting with purpose. The offense doesn't seem to be flowing normally. They're just pointing and trying to make things happen on the fly, but they're just out of rhythm. And I think that's in part due to Adelaide's slower pace of play, not letting them find their rhythm offensively in transition.
By far their lowest first half of the season, the Sydney Kings, as Valentine picks up a cheap foul.
And what will be interesting, right, is in halftime, no doubt that they're all frustrated. We've only got 27 points on the board, trying to figure out what's happening in their offense, and we highlighted a couple of things just then. But they can't let that be their sole focus because they have to be able to step up and play some defense as well.
And let's not forget keeping Adelaide off the offensive boards. Found some easy points, kept themselves ticking over, get extra possessions. Just those effort plays that have just been hurting them recently.
36ers go with Kadee instead of Marshall to start the half, and they get Wiley involved. He was slow to get going against Melbourne United, but had some big points in that fourth quarter. When United made a bit of a charge, he had 7 points. Gets his first bucket of the night. Here's Tui, another one who's been struggling from long range in recent weeks. Just 1 of 12 in his last 6 games. That's the side of the backboard, and then picks up the foul on Trey Kell.
There's a clear intent from Adelaide too, right? Where they're saying they know defensive woes for Sydney, so they just, when everything's broken down or if it's a bad miss like that or a quick shot, they're just going to try and put their head down, put some heat on the rim. They pick up a foul or 2, they're going to go to the free throw line.
And I wouldn't consider that a bad shot. There was some ball movement, attack the paint, kick out 3.
Sorry, I meant poor result of the shot outside of the backboard.
Yeah, it was just the execution at the end, and we've seen a few of those tonight, just whether it's lack of confidence or focused on other aspects of the game where they're struggling. But when a shot comes off the side of the backboard, it's hard to get back in D-trans because it's going anywhere.
Trey Kell leading all scorers with 13 points. He's been terrific his last couple, averaging almost a triple-double his last 2 games, 20 points, 10 boards and 8.5 assists. He's putting up good numbers again tonight as Adams finally gets a field goal. Maybe that can kickstart his night and a bit of the Kings' night.
Yeah, 1 of 10. Jalen Adams. Nice easy layup. You can see what they were trying to do. They were trying to isolate DJ Vasiljevic on the defensive end.
There's Wiley. It's back-to-back buckets.
But still, some more standing around. Just, as that pass could have been picked off, but just there's no crispness in their cutting. It's just a little bit of almost a pickup game at the moment. It's a great move by Hunter to bail him out. They're off one opportunity.
That offense was going nowhere, was it? It was all over the place, fumbles everywhere, and then Geordie Hunter just said, okay, I'll try and make some things happen. Little fake handoff, caught Isaac Humphrey sleeping. Let's go to the free throw line for a 3-point play opportunity.
This too is where the Adelaide 36ers have to make sure that they stay switched on at the defensive end. You know, they've been prone to having lapses in quarters and big lapses too, conceding big points.
Normally it's this quarter right here.
Yep.
Up until last week. Had 21 points in back-to-back third quarters combined. Another offensive rebound.
And he picks up another foul.
Another offensive rebound, but there's also another miscommunication on the two guards. It was both went with the ball. If Trey Keller had been able to see DJ, he was wide open for three. But Humphries just staying in the paint, using his size, being able to draw fouls, get extra possessions. It's been killing Sydney tonight.
Well, it's been killing the Kings all year. They can see more free throws to the opposition than any other team. Almost 26 a game. There's Trenton Flowers not playing tonight. Look at the diamonds in the ears there. Look at that. Crowd love it. He loves it. Out with a couple of games with a knee injury. He'll miss the next, I think, 2 games. Saw John Casey report on Channel 7 News in Adelaide. Hopefully he's okay.
I saw you wearing a couple of those earrings on the way in, Pete.
No. Well, maybe if ever it would be just 2. 6 is a lot. If you pull it off like Trenton Flowers, why not?
Again, really stagnant on offense. Shot clock down to 4. Adams is going to have to make something happen. Goes it alone. And he gets a couple to start this third quarter.
Yeah, good for him. Even at the end there, he was still looking to kick out, find the extra pass, and because the shot clock had to put it up, but he's been able to get into the paint at will tonight. He's just got to make sure he's making the right reads and being aggressive.
Still a 14-point margin. Vasiljevic from the logo. And then good hustle, great hustle from Wiley. This might set up a play of the night for the Adelaide 36ers.
And what does it come off? Another offensive rebound. Who wants it more right now? Yes, they managed to score a little bit in this quarter. The Sydney Kings, and Jalen Adams going to go to the free throw line here. The extra opportunities. Both teams really struggling from 3. Have a look at this. Look where Jacob Wiley flies in from. Gets it. Nice little pass from Jason Kadeen. Good finish from Isaac Humphries. Not rocket science, is it, Rowdy?
It's not. And you know what you're going to get from Wiley. He's got the engine, he's got the motor, he's got the will and desire to get after those loose balls, put his body on the line and be the first on the ground.
Well, we mentioned earlier, the Kings spoke about winning the rebound count. They're currently trailing that, losing that by 9. And as you've mentioned, Rowdy, particularly on the offensive glass. Got to get some stops. Makes 1 of 2.
Again, that's what can be really deflating. I mean, we haven't seen it a whole lot, but maybe to start the game, when you actually do see Sydney put together a strong defensive possession, to give up an offensive rebound, it becomes ultimately just deflates you and says, okay, now we've got to play D again. But Trey Keller just walks down, takes his time, gets below the free throw line and says, okay, I'm just going to be patient, turn around and do a little hook shot.
Adams playing with more aggression in this third quarter. Gets that to go and draws the foul.
Yeah, and Sydney just playing with a little bit more tempo, getting the ball through hands, getting faster cuts off the ball, and Jalen Adams starting to show that aggression as we look at the replay. But nice back cut, attacking the overzealous Trey Cal. Tough finish with a little English off the glass, but getting him on the rim, finding him some easy buckets, get into the free throw line, build that confidence in his shot. It's going to start opening some things up for him.
Yeah, we do see their offense flowing with that movement, right? And it's not just saying do any movement away from the ball. It's with an intent, with a pace. You're going to move quickly and keep the defense occupied. And we've seen that, and Jalen Adams is looking a little bit more aggressive. And so now they're ticking the scoreboard over on one end. They've got to lock it up on the other.
Wiley's on the inside. First foul, Humphries after. Wiley's on the help you. Hey!
Let's get down to John Casey, courtside case.
Yeah, Joey, look, I'm just watching the lineup here for these free throws and see Isaac Humphries and standing next side to Jordan Hunter. Now, Australian centres are scarce, good ones, and those two guys are both free agents at the end of this season. Humphries averaging 15.6 boards, and then you've got Hunter averaging 11.7 rebounds. Both are top 10 in the league in block shots. Who is the better pickup if you were able to get those guys and you were looking for a starting centre? Would you be going Humphries or would you be going for Geordie Hunter at this stage?
Oh, it's a really tough call, to be honest, because what we've seen from Geordie Hunter, it all depends on what the rest of the roster looks like, right? Because Isaac Humphries has shown that he can be one of your main options scoring-wise. There you go, on cue.
Yes.
On cue. And again, remember those games where Adelaide were struggling to score the ball, especially in Illawarra. A few games back in, I think Humphreys had 20 in the first half, and they just kept feeding the big fella. And the big question mark about this season was, can he stay healthy? And he's done that, and he's been really effective. And then if you've got a team that's loaded up with some elite guards, then you're probably leaning more towards Jordan Hunter, because he's the perfect glue piece to just put alongside a really star-studded guard lineup. You know, he's going to play hard. He's going to get those extra efforts on the offensive glass.
Well, Humphreys, no doubt's winning the battle tonight. He's now got 11 points, 6 boards, 3 blocks in this big 17-point lead. The reason why the 36ers bench were so animated previously, they called the foul on Jacob Wiley. And thought it was going to be on Isaac Humphreys, and that means Jacob Wiley's got 4 fouls.
Well, Scott Ennis tried to challenge it, but the ball had already been given to the free throw shooter, who knocked it down as Kawhi Noy steps into the game. That one's short.
Good hustle again from the 36ers. Bolden tried to get it to Noy.
2 of 20 from 3 now for Sydney.
And Cal just walks into the paint, throws it down. Game-high 19-point lead.
It's cut, copy, paste, isn't it? Okay, they missed it. A 3-ball on the other end. Harvey Norman replay here, and Trey Kell. And where's the effort there from Kawhi Noy? Yes, you're trying to send the baseline, but you're also trying to get in front. They're saying maybe Angus Glover can jump in front there. That's why there's a quick timeout.
Well, Pete, this is really incredible, I think, what we're seeing from the Sydney Kings, because you were one, and so did many, believe that with everything and the pressure that's been on them this week, that they would come out and, even if they didn't shoot the lights out, would play with energy and play with spirit and really give themselves a chance. They haven't really shown that tonight at all.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what they gave up. They gave up 41, 42 points or whatever in the first half. That's not bad, especially the way this league is trending this season. To hold a team to around 20 points a quarter is really good. Anywhere around 22, 23 is the average so far this season. So they weren't that bad. They had plenty of possessions where things fell apart. Offensive rebounds was definitely an issue, just offensively. And now we've seen it here. Their offense has ticked over, but defensively, they just haven't got stops. And that last possession proved it.
And this man has just been plodding along nicely, just really effective, real quiet in his play, but up to a game-high 19, and just does it at all 3 levels. Shoots the 3, as we saw, gets into the paint, gets others involved, but as we get another flat tire, shows off the bunnies on the other one, but he's just been able to be effective, attack the mismatches, any miscommunications on defense, he's been able to attack and exploit that, and just being able to get into the rim, take his time, and he's so good around the paint.
He's another one that's really thrived with more ball in hand under Scott Ninnis. Mentioned earlier his last couple of games, averaging 20 points, 10 rebounds, 8.5 assists, and he's doing it again. And they're doing it at the defensive end again. Adelaide, there's Detch now. We'll go to the free throw line to get it out to over 20 points.
Just great hands by Detch. Just active. He's digging in, he's helping his teammate. It's sort of inverse of what we're seeing with Sydney. He's trying to help out his teammate. And they're out in transition. They haven't been running a ton, but when they get stops or bad shots where they can get out and run and put some pressure on the rim, they've been really effective, and Detch has been hyper-aggressive today.
I just saw Jalen Galloway ripped off after that from Mahmoud, and I'm starting to get the sense that that leash has become so tight for everybody. Okay, if you're not going to play hard, if you're going to make silly mistakes like that, trying to go 1-on-2, just turn the ball over, not get through the offensive set, I'm going to sit you down, because in comes McQuatch Malawatch for his first minutes in a while.
And you look at Sydney's bench, there's just deflation. There's just no energy. There's no excitement. You're not seeing them stand up and cheer when good plays are happening on their end, whether offensively or defensively. There's no energy or an emotion, which is strange for a team that's very much in the finals hunt. And 10-10 is not a bad place to be, but they're just not playing that way. There's some good ball movement. And Glover,
maybe it can be their spiritual leader. Glover, can he try and get something? Because you're right, the confidence, they just look shot.
And again, losing in the way this current game is going, there's nothing to be happy about. So it's hard to kind of be ready to roll and try and bring that spirit. But
I think he just got away with a big walk there. But
that might be a little happy feet from Sunday Detch. But you do think about guys who are going to go out there and play hard. It's Angus Glover, it's Sean Bruce, quite annoying, you know, he's going to come in and get some shots up.
That was going to be my next point. It seems like this might be the energy lineup, that you don't have your big stars out there, I guess, but this team's going to play with some energy, play with some enthusiasm, defensively get up and in and try and change the momentum and pace of this game. But you give up offensive boards after a good first half to that defensive possession, forcing a tough contested pull-up.
That's the issue, isn't it? When they have had some good half-court possessions defensively, you give up an O-board. Or Adelaide just makes a tough shot, which both of them end up with the same result for Sydney. It just deflates you.
Nice little find from Glover to Bolden. Humphries thought it was another block shot for him. 13 points, 8 boards for Isaac Humphries. John Casey, courtside. What are you sensing down there?
Look, everyone's up and about, and not only are the fans excited, but the Premier of South Australia, Peter Malinauskas, is in the house sitting alongside 36ers owner Grant Kelly, of course. Peter Malinauskas, the Premier, has done such a great job here in South Australia, of course, getting the football here with a gather round to start with, but also with what he's been able to do in terms of sporting facilities here in South Australia. He plays a little bit of football himself, Division 7 I think it is, for the Adelaide Uni, so he gets out and likes to have a run around as the burgers are on offer. And Jonah Bolden was just teasing everyone. They'll have to wait a little longer. But we've got another record crowd here tonight. 9,580 breaks the record that was set against Melbourne on Saturday night of 9,564. 4 straight games sold out here. The fan support's been unbelievable.
Well, Case, is he a Port man or a Crows man? That's the big question.
I'm going from memory. I think he's more Port than the Adelaide Crows, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's flat. That's flat to hear that, Case.
Gee, it's great news about the crowd, Case. And they have been pretty good at home, Adelaide. They've won 4 of their past 7. And no wonder with the supporters that are turning out as DJ's called for an offensive foul.
Yeah, that's what Sean Bruce does. And again, you mentioned the bench, Rowdy, just being flat and zapped. If I'm the bench, I know we're down 20, but I'm up and about right for this. Just a little bit of extension of the elbow. Easy call for the referee, but just those little things, just jumping up. Angus Glover's minutes have been down. I'm saying a great take. Now let's go down and get a score.
I think they've just pulled him off, but those are the sort of plays that can change the momentum of a game, and there's plenty of time left in this game, and we've seen Adelaide give up big leads, as that's a good take and finish, give up good leads and give up points quickly. So they're not out of this game, but just from their energy and on the bench, it doesn't feel that way.
And that was Malawatch getting his first points. And 36ers go to their big man Humphries. He's got the size advantage on Valentine. They call it for a walk.
Yep. Pulled the chair there, Denzel Valentine. So they get a stop, they get a score on one end, get a stop. Another good offensive possession. Just, as you said, Rad, just string them together. Just ignore the score. Just make sure you keep getting stops as many as you can. And then get a good offensive set and just plug away.
Is this performance, Pete, going to add more pressure on Coach McMahon and the Sydney Kings? Because I know they've tried to play it down and say there's no sport, but 8 of their last 11 if they lose this now, and losing to the bottom side like they look like they're going to tonight. Is that going to build more pressure?
That's inevitable, right? That's just the way that professional sports go. But it's not, you're pointing the finger solely at him. I don't think that's the right thing at all. There's a lot more to that, because he's not the one who's going to jump in front and take charges. He's not the one who's going to box out. He's not the one who's going to rotate.
And he's certainly not one that can shoot the ball for them. Just 3 of 22 from the three-point line and 33% from the field. Malawatch has come on and got 4 quick points.
I'd like to see some full court pressure, just kind of getting into them, trying to build a little energy, a little pressure. And almost, I think he has forced another turnover. Just little plays like that. It doesn't have to be over the top aggressive, but just creating a little bit of pressure, forcing Adelaide into an easy turnover. Now they're starting to compound some defensive stops. Now if they can execute well offensively, get a couple of scores, scoreboard pressure goes back on Adelaide as Adelaide's called a timeout quickly. They're not too happy with the last few possessions.
Yeah, Scott Ninnis has just sensed that, so he's decided to get the boys down for a snooze timeout to regroup.
I was watching the bench intently there, right, on that turnover. So they've got some couple of free throws, strung some things together. 2 players stood up to clap. That's an energy play, right? Malawatch is trying to make some things happen, trying to get up and about.
especially when it's a young player like that doing that.
So here it is, right? So he's the one who was full court. He's ended up forcing the turnover. Okay, right? Mahmoud's happy. You've got Sam Timmins, Jackson McCoy up, and Jordan Hunter just clapping. Everyone else just sitting down. Just what you highlighted, Rowdy.
Yeah, and as I was saying, young fellas, especially when a young fella comes in to bring energy and makes plays like that, those are the ones that you can get up and get around and not only gives you confidence, but gives him confidence to keep playing with energy and aggression.
Let's get down courtside. John Casey, you're taking a listen to Scott Ninnis in that huddle.
Yeah, Joey, he was adamant to his players then during the timeout, do not try and protect this lead. Be aggressive. Take it at the Kings. That's what's got them this lead. Let's keep playing that way. He doesn't want them to take their foot off the accelerator at all.
I think it's the right way to play because Sydney have looked better the last couple of minutes here. Sydney Kings, it's all about getting stops right now because after you've ticked the scoreboard over, managed to score 21 points in the third quarter so far. And you haven't really stopped the bleeding from Adelaide.
There's Galloway again.
He could have caught that. There is no need to... You still get a block. I don't know whether it's a block or a steal, but...
That looks good if it goes in the first round. Get the crowd involved, get them a touch.
Golden goes at Kyron Galloway this time as Valentine might have got away with a push. The points will count.
Game delay warning here from Sydney. And you're right, the points will count. Just chipping away.
What's the number at three-quarter time, Rowdy? The Kings can maybe just believe they could win it. Is there single figures?
Yeah, I think if you get it to 10 or single figures, there's plenty of belief, and they've definitely got the offensive tools and the talent to put up a big score in any quarter. But there was just miscommunication there, and they dodged the bullet. But great hustle there. That's been the difference in the game, just being willing to get after those loose balls. Any 50-50 balls, if we look at the replay, he comes out of nowhere. He just wants it more.
There is absolutely no way that Nick Marshall can come up with that ball. Where he started from. Same with the one that went on the ground on the offensive rebound a couple of possessions ago with Jacob Wiley.
And this is an Adelaide team playing for pride. Yes, technically they could probably still make the play-in. Oh. And they're playing well. Casey said something to start the game as Adelaide man, but they're playing for pride right now. They're trying to ruin other teams' seasons and enjoy. And they're playing like the team that's fighting for a playoff berth.
Well, that's why I said last week before they played Melbourne United, there was a danger game for United because nothing's more dangerous than a team with nothing to lose. They've got a free swing, sell-out crowd, things start rolling, they have a whole lot of fun as we see. The Kings trying to get a bit of an on-ball trap. And it's in the end a bit overzealous, and they're going to walk to the free throw line. That's going to be Denzel Valentine's fourth personal. Sits out now with 6 points, 3 of 9 from the field.
Jalen Adams checks back in after having 8 points in this third quarter. He looked like the one that just had a little bit of the steely resolve about him to start the third term. Attack the rim. It's Trey Cal. Misses the first. He's got the 17 points. Isaac Humphries with 13. DJ Vasiljevic 12 and Sunday Detch with 13. Jalen Adams, the only King in double digits after going 0 from 9 from the field to start.
Pete, how much are they missing DJ Hogue?
Yeah, I mean a lot, I think. Again, well, definitely in this game, but everyone talks about DJ Hogue, an elite offensive weapon, has shown a Bolden. Jeez, that's a great wall up from Nick Marshall right there. DJ Hogue was a great defender for Cairns last season. That's just splitting hairs down the other end. Everybody moving. Look at the pace. The difference in pace, the way they're running through offense, both in the half court and full court.
There's Malawatch again. Helps himself to another couple. He's got 6 points this quarter. Playing with some energy. And Adelaide continuing to attack. They're not giving the Kings a sniff at 16 points. Trey Cal left that one short.
Yeah, I think he's gone for a 2-for-1 on that possession. Why the rush shot? No real movement, just trying to get an extra possession to finish the quarter, but important possession. And again, on an island, allows Adelaide to, as they should, load across, build a wall defensively.
And I think the word I'm looking for when we look at the last couple of games is there's a disconnect somewhere, right? There's disconnect just in the way that they're operating, the way that they're trying to get out there and put the ball in the basket. They're trying to defend between the players, everybody. And it becomes obviously clearer when...
And it looks like that disconnect's now affecting their belief and confidence. That's what's happening tonight.
Which is inevitable, isn't it? When you've had all this talk in the media, all the talk from the fans, and not just that, but you'd be frustrated within the locker room that the last couple of results, especially losing on their home floor, and you come out here and you're facing a 20-point loss, a 20-point deficit in the third quarter. One of the hardest things to do is try and get up and about and try and turn it around.
It is only 14, and we have seen some strange things in the NBL. Oh, as they dodge a bullet there, but if they can get a quick score here to end.
Instead, it's going to go the other way. Did he get it off in time?
Backbreaker, that hurts.
Heads-up play from Jacob Wiley and the Adelaide 36ers. The record crowd are on their feet. Adelaide looking to make it another boil over in successive weeks. They lead by 16 points at three-quarter time.
Family, thank you very much for fantastic. We have our dance off tonight. We have Amy and Jess competing. All they need to do is dance to the fantastic music, and it's safe to say they are hydrated. So this should be very interesting to watch. Okay, so I believe that Amy is going first. As soon as you hear the music, dance, and then Jess can. We'll see what happens. All right, play the music. Let's go. Thursday night. Basketball, maybe out of the town afterwards, we don't know. Let's make it up to the cup, it's fantastic. Right, it's a family show, just come down. Put a prize back for the winner and give it up for her. Your time starts now. Let's go over to you. Oh my gosh, this is parents, you want the eyes of your children.
Well, it's remarkable what's going on here at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Can you believe in that third quarter, the Sydney Kings scored as many points as they did in the first half, yet they were still outscored by the Adelaide 36ers. They lead by 1 point at quarter time. There was 15 points at half time, and they now lead by 16 points at three-quarter time. Sydney, as we've mentioned a number of times, look all at sea, and this Adelaide 36ers side are playing with renewed energy and momentum in the last couple of weeks. And Ryan Bronkoff, Pete Hooley, you never know how far they can continue into this season.
It'll be interesting, their schedule coming up, and you never know. But as they go back to the well, get something inside, a nice easy two, some ball movement. Offense is just clicking for them right now.
And they play again on Saturday night away to Cairns, and then they play away to Southeast Melbourne, and then away to Illawarra. So they do have a three-game road trip coming up, the 36ers.
And with how close the NBL middle pack is, Adelaide's that team that's going to take some wins from some teams, ruin some finals chances, and it's not a walk-in game where you walk in, know you're going to win against Adelaide. They are playing some really good basketball at the moment.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? We're not necessarily saying they'll make the play in, Pete, but they're certainly not the walkover that most teams would have looked at and maybe penciled in only a few weeks ago.
Joey, they had two very different conversations, and I will only entertain one of them. I think absolutely they can ruin a couple of team seasons, and they take some bit of joy out of that. Have a look at this.
Beautiful ball movements. They are all on the same page now, and they are cooking on all cylinders.
I mean, this play right here is a term of endearment in its own.
Line up. One
Pass,
shot.
pass, and one opportunity.
We hear the 2 call from the bench, and that means trap the on-ball screen, but all the other defenders are not in position to catch the short roller and then to rotate out of it. Adelaide just picked them apart a few possessions now when they've tried to trap.
Well, let's take a look at the live ladder just to see what this result means for, in particular, the Sydney Kings. And they're coming into it, despite losing 7 of 10, they were still 4th.
That's a little Brizzy.
Now Brisbane jump into the top 4. And we know how compact it is between 3rd and 9th, really. But again, Adelaide just getting back-to-back wins. If they can hold on, as Tui gets one to fall.
I feel like we haven't seen much of Tui tonight, but that's a nice take. Get into the paint, little soft fade.
Only played for 14 minutes. Back in the starting lineup.
Sydney Kings have to butter up and play again on Sunday. They host New Zealand. And then they host the Perth Wildcats the weekend after, so they get to go home. A couple of games, but a couple of big games for them. Going to be a big week, you would think, in Sydney.
There's Geordie Hunter. He's fighting out there.
But how exciting is this for the NBL with how close it is in each game and the importance of it? It's the next few weeks are just going to be absolutely insane to keep track of.
Happens every year. Happened last year. Percentage will come into play. Whether it's separating the top 2 or just getting into the playing tournament, percentage always comes into play somewhere.
Hunter knocks down the first and has not one teammate to give high five, so his former teammate DJ Vasiljevic.
That's nice.
Gives him the high five.
That's nice from DJ, but there must have been with the coach just getting a word about what they're trying to do defensively, but not always the best look when you're just left standing stranded on the free throw line with no teammates.
It's either that or they're setting this up right here. This is what they showed to start the game, right? And we were highlighting it, Rowdy, saying this looks good, this is different. Just you don't have to try and turn it over, but just pick it up full court, because Traco had to start that offensive possession for 13 seconds.
Defense from Hunter. They still get the ball back. Yeah, Cal again leaves that one a long way short.
And Sydney have the bodies to rotate, getting up. Because that's a great pass and a great wall up. But Sydney have the athletes to be able to play full court defense for long extended periods of time. They can make substitutions and get bodies through. But we just haven't seen it consistently enough for them. And then giving up shots out of defensive trans, and then a one-pass pull-up 3.
This might be looked at. Just going to minutes potentially.
Take a look at Jacob Wiley. Now getting the double digits. So again, their big 4 in Cal, Humphries, Wiley and Vasiljevic. Getting points on the board. They scored 82 of their 100 in that win against Melbourne United. And again, they've scored almost 60 of their 77 points tonight. They're in good form. Here's Adams, gets to the free throw line. Gets another one to drop. So they just hang around within 15 points.
4 of 15 from the field tonight, Charlie. That's 14 points. But he has hit only 3 of his last 27 three-point attempts. So call that a slump. That's in the last 6 games.
Adelaide again get a little bit lucky. They retain possession, but a good hustle from Wiley.
It's unbelievable, all these 50-50 balls that you think Sydney have got in their hands, but Adelaide keep coming up with. And you look at the replay, a tough pass into a crowd of players. Looks like Geordie's got it. It just pops out, and it's just been Adelaide's night where it's just popping right to them and they're able to make plays out of it.
That's his 5th foul, Geordie Hunter. He's out of the game.
He wanted a challenge too. He was pretty adamant. And you can just see that disappointment and the frustration. He's had 10 points, 9 rebounds. As we said, he's fought hard.
Some other news during the week, boys. Jerome Randall, the former MVP, 2-time scoring champ, of course, played at both these clubs, announced his retirement from basketball during the week. So a little shout out to Jerome Randall.
Do we have the clip of you on Randall Island?
To be fair, the one that they posted wasn't the one, because I know he knocked that down, but I thought I defended that pretty well.
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, still, just trying to stay in front of that man was actually impossible when he wanted to. How quick he was and the handle he had. And ended up coming straight out the side of my Kobe 4s and had to tape him up, and that was it. They were done.
Owes you some shoes, I heard, but
went to the PG ones after that.
You have the ball already.
Call for a travel, Isaac Humphries.
And Sydney's offensive possession before that. Yes, an open shot for Jonah, who's been struggling, but again, just a quick shot out of one pass. But that's the style they like to play. When they're making it and they're rolling, they're one of the hardest teams to keep in check. But when they're having nights like tonight, they've got to find a way to move the ball around, get some easier ones, get some more at the rim. We've got standing around again offensively, just leaving it up to Adams.
It's been a similar result all night. Can't get it to fall. 36 with the rebound. And then again a nice feed from Kadena Wiley. And it's back out to 18 points. And the Adelaide 36ers crowd are enjoying this one. So's Jacob Wiley. They're in a comfortable position. Snooze time out. They lead by 18.
Lost words watching this.
Not the response I think any of us were expecting.
3 of 24 from 3. That's going to make your night really hard, but what do the good teams do then?
Well, Adelaide's 4 of 24. It's not like they're shooting any better.
That's a great point.
Of course, Sydney Kings' lowest score of the year, 72 points against the Tassie Jack Jumpers back in round 2. They're a chance to have their lowest score of the year against the team sitting bottom of the ladder. .36ers leading by 18 points. Sydney Kings on track for potentially their lowest score of the season.
Here you go, Rowdy. This is what you highlighted. We've seen this a lot, this game especially. Okay, so they're trying to go at DJ Vasiljevic, but look at all the white jerseys again. Everyone just standing still. Jonah Bolden looked like he's going to cut, and in the end, it's too late. That's a tough shot. Jalen Adams can make that shot, yes, but the amount of times that's happened in this game where, okay, they think they have the matchup they want, which is great. A lot of teams have tried to hunt at DJ Vasiljevic, but then what do you need? You need somebody to move, multiple players to move away from the ball. Otherwise, you just see a wall of blue.
That's what I was going to say. There was a wall of blue on that shot. Everyone's focused in on the ball. There's no movement to take their attention. They can just sit in the driving lanes, make Adams have to go on a wider angle into a tougher shot, and he's unable to make it, and hasn't been able to make it tonight.
And we keep saying that I don't think anybody expected this kind of response. I think everybody thought, and I especially thought that Sydney would come in and get the job done pretty convincingly, I must say. I really thought that emotion was going to be riding high and they just put it all together. They've shot 3 of 24 from 3, and normally you look at that, you say, yeah, okay, they had a really rough night, and you can kind of understand, but Adelaide are 4 of 24.
Yeah.
So they're one shot difference. If they make their next shot, the Kings, they're basically shooting the same from deep, and there's a completely two different teams out there, isn't there?
They try and push the tempo a little bit here. Galloway drops their head and met with a rejection from Wiley, who's loving this situation.
Little finger wag as we get to the Harvey Norman replay. He just comes from the weak side and sends that into the first row.
8 blocks from the 36ers. Yes, they've got athletes who can block the ball, Isaac Humphries and stuff, but 8 blocks is literally a testament to how many forced shots Sydney have had to try and get in there and make. There's Angus Glover knocking down the 4 threes. So now both teams have 4 threes. 4 of 25 for Sydney, 4 of 24 from Adelaide. We can't use that as an excuse.
Well, he has been one of the few Kings that's shot the ball well in recent weeks, going at 50% from three-point line his last 7 games. Most of these starters have really struggled from long range. Adams is going to let it fly.
You saw the hesitation just before he shot it. He had a look at one, passed it up, got it back, unsure, but shot it anyway. Great
Good hustle, great play from Galloway.
And we're back to 12. This is still a game.
Sure is. And if you're Sydney Kings right now, if you're the players, you should be a little bit up and about, right? Okay. Great effort on the offensive glass there from Galloway. Flies in, just wanted that more. DJ Vasiljevic is not happy, and you can say we're a huge chance to come away with this.
Well, let's go take a listen into the Sydney Kings huddle because they are within 12 points at the snooze timeout, and there's still enough time.
Hey, straight 55. All right, straight 55. Make sure that I'm physical with the screens. That's a good job pursuing. Hey, they're always looking to hit the roller. Just make sure we have our tags in place. Next time down, we're going wiper with glove. We're going wiper with glove. Just space the floor. All of you guys can shoot the ball. Space the floor. We want you coming off here. All right, you guys got it? Wiper with you. Everybody crash behind.
So keep an eye on here. I like that defensively, saying that, okay, what we've seen a lot so far is a little pick and roll. They're trying to hit the big fella, so make sure that somebody's going to put a body in tag and try and bump the roller. And down the other end, look for something for Angus Glover to try and get downhill off a kind of brush screen. And he said the shooters spot up and see how that goes. 4 of 27. Not feeling with too much confidence, but this game, one stop here and another bucket.
Vasiljevic was tempted. Cal loses his footing. This might open the door for the Kings. They should be able to finish, although again, not quite on the same page. Valentine missed one from here moments ago. Still hasn't got his range. Galloway. And they continue to really struggle from beyond the arc.
And that would have brought the heat on. Adelaide starting to string some defensive stops together. They hit that three, bring it into single figures as Trey just makes his way. Some impressive handlers there to get into the lane and draw the foul. But those are the ones that hurt, especially when you get an offensive rebound, kick it out to the shooter. Those ones are the ones that usually go in. It's staggering because we mentioned the three-point shooting. Sydney 4 of 29, Adelaide 4 of 24. And we keep harping on about how poor they have been in defensive rebounding. They've given up 12 offensive rebounds. They've got 12 themselves. So the stats, albeit the shooting percentage from the field, actual two-point range is vastly different. But the actual stats, they both attempted 21 free throws, 16 made for Sydney, 18 from Adelaide. It's just been those easy layups, those second chance opportunities that they've capitalised on. That's the difference.
You'd like to think the 36ers can call on their experience from last week. If you remember against Melbourne United, they made a bit of a charge, United, in that fourth quarter, didn't they, Rowdy? But Adelaide, every time they made a bit of a run, they were able to steady and put some points on the board. They didn't panic.
Yeah, they were able to find shots as that was the wiper action they were looking for, that brush screen that you were talking about, Pete, but they've been able to find plays and players being able to make some big shots when teams have run at them recently, Adelaide. So they're in a comfortable position now, but 4 minutes to go, up 13. There's no guarantees.
To be perfectly honest, the last few minutes and the way that this game has gone, Sydney should be close to nearly in front with everything. Angus Glover looks like he's got a blood rule, and I think his good mate, DJ Vasiljevic, just pointed it out. He might have had a few words to say. Have another look at this. DJ just telling the referee there's a small little bit of blood on the back of the jersey.
But when you're worried about your mate and his welfare,
he's just been a good bloke.
He's just been a good bloke.
Not sure Angus saw it that way. Malawatch, Adams.
Great defense here from Adelaide. They might even get a shot.
Great defense. Kings weren't aware of the shot clock. And they get another stop, the 36ers.
He's gone. Been very quiet. He's only played the 15 minutes. Sunday Detch has been phenomenal. Not just on that defensive possession. He's got 13 points. He's made an instant impact. For a guy who thought he was out of the rotation, didn't know where his minutes were going to come from. Same with Mitch McCarron when he's checked in. And we know that they've fallen out of the rotation the way they started the season, but to come in and make winning plays when you have every right to be probably a little frustrated, just speaks to their professionalism, no doubt about it.
Vasiljevic just 3 of 12 in tonight's game, but he's had enough teammates supporting him, and that man again, Trey Cowell.
He's been the man over the last few weeks, making big shots in the clutch, and Another offensive rebound. Sunday Detch, you said his name, and he pops up and makes an effort play. As Adams is able to work that pick and roll. And
well, their offensive rebounds have hurt them a lot more than down the other end, right? Because they're pretty much identical. You just look at how much they've made them pay. That was a tough shot from Trey Kell, but so many times I've seen a wide open three or an easy layup.
But here they go. They've got to stop, get out, get some easy buckets.
Take a look at Trey Kell. We spoke about him knocking down 5 threes against Melbourne, which is the first time in his career he's done that. He's hit 3 of 6. So he's got 3 of the 5 tonight for the Adelaide 36ers. And again, he's stuffing the stat sheet. 22 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He's thriving under Scott Ninnis, and has been a huge reason for this revival in the last couple of weeks for Adelaide.
His form's been as good as anyone's, really. Obviously, Bryce Cotton would be top of the list right now, but his form over a triple-double, and he's putting up. I'm not saying this about
Joey,
Bryce.
I'm abstaining from this.
Please,
speak to it. I wasn't here.
I said Bryce still top of the mountain right now the last few weeks, but his form has been unbelievable.
No, he's been really good. But again, I think it took him a little while to adjust to that starting point guard role, and you haven't been a point guard and trying to figure it out mid-season is hard to do. But he's been wonderful. 22 points, 46% from the field. He's got 6 rebounds, 5 assists.
This might be another assist, or that was going to be moving screen or a hold call on Jacob Wiley.
And Sydney running this little half-court trap. As soon as the ball comes over, they're sending 2, forcing that skip pass. Trey Kell tried to force and thread the needle before trying to hit the roller, but just a simple, unnecessary hold there from Wiley. Forces a turnover, and another opportunity for Sydney to get back and get it to just 10 points.
Slivic didn't like the call, neither did the crowd. So, Randy, where to, as a Sydney Kings team, when they have to butter up again on Sunday and they host New Zealand, what does it look like between now and Sunday as a playing group? How do they try and find something?
Well, they've got to finish off tonight's game. They're still not out of it. They've got to finish with a flurry, play with some more confidence and freedom, and try and carry that over into the next games. Look at their defense, which hasn't been terrible tonight. 84 points to Adelaide is not a number that usually would worry a Sydney team. They're going to score above that, but how does their offense look? Why were they not in rhythm? Are they taking too many of those early one-pass contested threes with no ball movement that just sort of kills your flow?
It's been that, I keep going back to that word, the disconnect at the wrong time and in crucial moments. Back-to-back possessions where, okay, we're starting to get something going, and then maybe it's a poor shot, a quick shot, or you let somebody walk past you, get a layup or an offensive rebound. And I'll tell you what, Rowdy, you might be the most optimistic person of all time. So they've called a block here, and I think I'm with, you heard Mahmoud in the coach's mic saying that there was a hook. I thought there was a hook too on Trey Kell. So they've called a block. Absolutely. I mean, that little chicken wing is enough that we've seen called this season. I'm a little bit
We're not in a timeout. Let's go. We need to inbound the ball. We need to inbound the ball. Just Ed. He put his hands on me. Go talk to him. Hey, you're the best here. What are you doing there? You're putting him on outside. Stay focused on the game, please. Let's go, buddy.
Jason Kadid is getting under the skin of a few of the Kings.
I might have started with DJ Vasiljevic, but I would have been challenging that, to be honest. If they've got a timeout left, I think they would have had a good chance to be overturned.
There's Cal looking to be aggressive again, and has a few words, getting a little bit chippy late in this one.
You stop now.
That's frustration from Sydney. I think their poor performances recently. This is starting to boil over a little bit and more about the opposition or the referees than taking care of business. But I'm with you, Pete. I'm challenging that last play. This is the time to use it. Couple minutes left.
I'm more staggered because you could hear that they thought it was a hook, right? They thought it was that offensive chicken wing, and it was 100% there on the replay. And if it wasn't, I mean, you talk about the block maybe becoming first, if that contact comes first, but it's worth rolling the dice. There's no point holding on to that single timeout right now.
That turnover might just about do it. And this could be the exclamation mark, although Malawatch wasn't going to allow that to happen. In fact, he thinks it was clean.
Okay, now Trey Kell has shown a little bit of sneaky hops of late. He's had a dunk in this one. He's had a flat tyre. I'm not sure McQuatch Malawatch is the one to go against.
So I just want to have a look at this. There's a turnover, but look at the effort from Adams. There was no getting back on defense and transition. He just stopped. He just stopped. That's not the effort that you need at this point in this game. If you make a mistake, that's fine. Get back on defense.
How many of those errors, they're not really errors, are they? They're choices that have we seen the last few games. And so I'm not sure. Someone needs to get Trey Kell the highlight of McQuatch Malawatch playing for the Salties.
Oh, boy.
If you want to see an athlete, there's an athlete right there, Trenton Flowers, who is a crowd favourite. New or old gum, do you think, from Trenton Flowers? Because he has given that thing a workout.
So even the most optimistic
foul.
Boy! Shows a bit of aggression.
Where did that come from?
It would have been handy earlier in the game. Still. All over Humphreys.
He exploded to the rim here.
How quick was this? Quite Noi out of nowhere. That's... So you can hear the referee saying automatic technical. I'd be okay to be thrown out for that.
So that's for the little taunt right there?
Well, I think it's calling it the second delay of game. Oh,
delay
I think he said it's a warning, otherwise it'll be an automatic technical.
Yep.
That's one of the best dunks of the season.
Standing start almost.
Over it. High-level shot blocker as they're forced to turnover here. Can this spark a little energy?
I was about to say, Rowdy, even the most optimistic Kings supporter, surely the Kings can't win from here.
I'm still a little lost for words. I'm quite Noi.
What do you see on the play? I've actually got a foul on Adams. After there is a significant foul from Angus, so you get that one. We may have a ground for C1 Kuteria doesn't play at the ball. Okay. So I'm going to bring that to review. Replay center, did you get that? So the ball on the play is a foul on Jada Adams. Significantly after we have Angus Glover.
So here Nico Fernandez talking about, okay, we're going to call the foul on Jalen Adams, which was there. Was it necessary for Angus Glover? It didn't look like there was a whole lot in it.
You would like to think pretty quickly move on.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they've done.
I think he was probably blocked from the play, but you can see he's trying to get his hand up towards the ball and nothing too much in
I think Glover's trying to, if Adams doesn't get the foul, he's ready to get it.
What it will most likely mean, Pete, is that the Kings won't be able to restrict Adelaide to under 90 points, which keeps that stat rolling of yours. So we thought pre-game about when they do keep teams under 90 points, the Sydney Kings. What are they, 8-2? Something on those lines?
8-3.
8-3 when they keep teams under 90.
8-3, I believe.
2-7 when they're...
No, 7-2, sorry, when they keep teams under 90, and that's to be 3-9 when teams score above 90 points. Still including the 9-point times they've given up 100.
It's their biggest loss for the season. The Kings 16 points against Melbourne United not too long ago.
It's hard to fathom that at different points in this fourth quarter, Sydney had the chance to bring it within not just single digits. They could have got it close to 7 and 5 if they just strung those possessions together and came up with stops and no mental lapses in certain moments. I'm not sure if we might be getting a challenge here from Scott Ennis. We're going to get it. It wasn't right that we didn't go through the game without a coach's challenge, Rowdy, because we spoke about it. So they're challenging the foul on Isaac Humphreys.
Take a look here. It was called as a push.
Yeah, they're not going to win that. They're not going to win that foul. That challenge, I don't think, from that.
So Ninnis playing it right to the whistle. Are they thinking about percentage now? 36s, are they?
Oh boy.
Don't bring Rowdy into this. Rowdy, based on this game alone.
Every point counts for the 36s.
Based on
you
this
never
game
know.
alone, Sydney are still a chance to win, and Adelaide will make the 6.
Don't hold me to that, people.
This will be 5 of their last 6.
My point of view, the coach's challenge is unsuccessful. The call on floor stand, we got a pushing foul, bonus 2 shot.
I thought that would be the case. It was pretty obvious call from that baseline angle. Terrific camera work.
So the big story out of this game, they will have lost 8 of their last 11, the Sydney Kings. It'll be 5 of their last 6. They've just lost to the bottom placed Adelaide 36ers. There's going to be a lot of talk about where the Kings are at this week. As we said, they host New Zealand again on Sunday. That's
New Zealand on Sunday.
Take a look at the live ladder again, and all of a sudden, they've got teams, even as far down as New Zealand, breathing right down the Sydney Kings' neck.
Well, the numbers are right, but flip Brisbane and Sydney, because Brisbane are in the 4 spot.
Although the percentage, Sydney have made up a bit of percentage, potentially.
Oh, you're spot on, sorry.
They're back to 13 points.
I've got Rowdy Rowdy's optimism in my head.
But New Zealand, they're coming. Illawarra coming. Brisbane.
I'll tell you what's not going to be pleasant. If that game against New Zealand is massive, because they don't play for another week after that, and they play Perth at home. There's a bit of rivalry there. So just to go into that little bit of a break, feeling a little bit slightly less pressure is going to be crucial.
And there is 91 points now for the Adelaide 36ers. This might be their biggest win of the season. Oh, Noy again. Getting above the rim for a second time.
Taking some frustration out at that rim.
I didn't know he had this kind of athleticism. I mean, I knew he could get up, but... there's some significant bounce here from Kawhi Noy.
So, of course, the 36ers' biggest win was a 12 points against the New Zealand Breakers early in the season. I'd say the biggest win, of course, would be against Melbourne, but in regards to total points.
I don't think DJ wants a dagger.
There it is. He really wanted that, didn't he? Glover's been the one that's been able to stroke the ball. He's got, amazingly, half their three-pointers. He's made 2.
4 of 32 from 3, 12.5%. Adelaide not that much better, 5 of 26. 58 free throws between the two teams, pretty evenly split.
So, Rowdy, this three-point percentage, though, isn't just a one-off. As I mentioned earlier, since round 10, they've been 8th in the competition from three-point range, shooting just over 30%. Is it something they consider for Sunday, putting away completely, but saying, right, we're jacking up too many at the moment, considering we're not making enough, or do they still have to believe in themselves and believe you can turn it around in 2 days?
Oh, you definitely have to carry the belief into the next game, but maybe finding some plays early just to get players on the rim, finding some easy shots. I think it's the one pass or no pass quick threes that's really hurt them tonight. They haven't been making any of those, and you string a few of those together, it starts to play on the whole team. That there's a lack in confidence, there's a lack in aggression to getting those shots up, but you can't lose faith, you can't lose confidence in who you are and what you do, and when this team's up and running at their best, shooting threes and getting up and down, they are as tough as anybody.
Yeah, I think that's the way you'd be looking at it, right? I know the noise is loud, the heat would be almost unbearable, but there's still plenty of time left in this season to turn it around. You've got 7 games to just try and find something that works so that when you go into the play-in tournament or a semi-final series, you're just feeling really good, right? Yes, it would suck right now. It would be an awful feeling to be continually seeing this kind of scoreboard and to feeling this heat. But you're only a couple of wins away and playing the right way from getting out of it. I think that's the way they've got to try and focus on it. It's going to be really, really hard to do. It's easier said than done, no doubt about it, because it's going to feel heavy right now. But there can be light at the end of the tunnel.
They've got talent.
No doubt
We all
about
know
it.
they're stacked with talent. It's just finding a way to put it all together, get everyone moving in the same direction and start cheering that basketball like they have been throughout the season.
And you watch, it only takes a game, right? A game of that joy to come back. Everything starts to flow. They feel locked in. Then the smallest bit of pressure comes off, but they're feeling in a better mindset and better mentality, and then the next game will be even better.
But it's going to be the Adelaide 36ers in front of another record crowd at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be their third consecutive win at home. Back-to-back wins against top-of-the-table Melbourne United, and now the reigning champs, the Sydney Kings. And the Adelaide 36ers are just slowly turning into giant killers. And Trey Cole leads from the front again. 27 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. He will be the Foot Locker player of the game. DJ gets the last laugh against his former side. And Adelaide are just starting to make some waves 2/3 into the season.
Yeah, they are. Again, they just look like a team that's playing loose, playing free, having fun with it. Unbelievable crowd at the entertainment centre. And as we spoke about all game, Sydney just looked like a team that pressure's piling on. Had little glimpses tonight where you could kind of think, okay, if they can string that together for 4 or 5 possessions, they're right back in this game. But they get back-to-back stops, they get scores, and then they'd have a breakdown. And that just happened too often. And this one's going to sting again, no doubt about it.
Well, DJ Vasiljevic said last week after the win, their motto, new year, new team. And that has certainly been the case. They are 2 from 2 in 2024. They win this one by 13 points. We'll be back right after this to wrap it all up.
Continue bidding on those items for the auction as well, purchase your merchandise. Get home safe. Think road safety on your way home. We'll see you really soon. The Sixers get the win.
Well, the story tonight is the Adelaide 36ers have done it in consecutive weeks. They have won again at home, this time knocking off the Sydney Kings by 13 points. They led at every change, and it was off the back of this man who's been the Foot Locker player of the game for the third consecutive week, in fact, is Trey Cal. 27 points, 50% from beyond the arc. And Ryan Brockhoff, you mentioned his form lately. His last 3 games, he's averaging 22 points, 9 rebounds, 7.5 assists. He is leading this team beautifully.
Those numbers speak for themselves, and the